Ladies and gentlemen, so welcome once more to Namibian News. So this is a Namibian-owned channel owned by Namibians, and we're very much excited to come live. So the purpose of this channel is to give you guys digital news. So if you're a person who doesn't have time for newspapers and keeping updated with what is happening in the news sector, so we are going to be the right channel for you. So we're going to be dissecting and getting stories that are making headlines within the news. Then we sit down, discuss them, break them down, and give you a better understanding in terms of what is busy happening. But you know what, this is the place for you to be. So if you are busy watching and you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, so please do subscribe. We are on the way to 500 subscribers. That's what we want. So at the end of the week, we are hitting 500. So I encourage you, please do subscribe, and we are looking forward to having a great and awesome time together. So wanna make at least every Saturday or Friday, we are uploading new content of all the news that is taking place, you know, within the country. So it's gonna be from politics to sports to anything, anything that is busy trending within the news. We're gonna be bringing that to you. So be expecting to be getting very good first-hand information about what is taking place. So we are on. So my name is Petrus.
My name is Aisha.
Very good. So we are going to be diving into a couple of stories. So, but by the way, so this is the second video that we are doing. So we're supposed to come through already by Friday, Saturday, but we had some technical issues. But we are back, and we are much more stronger. So let's start with the first story, Aisha.
The first story that we are going to diverge. But the first story we will have is, there was a headline where, you know, this guy, I think he's also in the education sector, had said that teachers are not professional.
Basilius Hengari, the guy from Need, you know. So this guy, I think this guy is busy observing the educational thing, the pass rate, and all type of stuff. And the guy says some of the teachers are just there for the moolah.
Just for the money, nothing else.
You know, just there for the money.
Yeah, but one of the interesting things is that he was very specific. He did not say all of the teachers. He said some of the teachers, which I think I can agree with. Yeah. Having been in the education system and still being there, you see people and you're like, you could have done better. You could have done better.
You could have done better if you were a nurse, or you were a doctor, or you were, you know, somebody in the sports and stuff like that.
But I feel like it's because a lot of times now, especially now, you see a lot of influx of education. You get people who tell people, you know, just go study education. They say it's a gateway to your profession. So it's like you are getting money to go study something else that you wanted to study, because education really is one of those careers where if there is no passion, don't do it. Because not only are you working with people, you are working with the future of our country. So now you get people who are, let's say for example, 18 years old, they finish school, they were not admitted in the program that they wanted to be admitted in. They go study education, start being a teacher. 20 years comes, you can literally see in the way that they act that they never wanted to be a teacher.
It's a problem, and I was reading, I think it's this SBS. I was checking through their IG account, and they're saying like they had like close to 4,000 students that graduated, and that's just like them. Then you find like the NAS, the UNAM, the what, and it's like the way forward. I don't think there's gonna be the employment sector is gonna be able to cater for everybody.
Exactly.
You know, so because now you find like a lot of people that are busy graduating, and then you already find people who have graduated a year, 2 years back, no jobs. You know, they're hustling to get a job. So it's a little bit a sad story, and now you find like you know, people that are into the educational sector, now they don't have a passion for kids. You know, they're not passionate for, you know, all they simply just want, hey, but they're coming to once it's the 19th, you know, midnight, then already they are busy checking the account whether or not the money is in. But it's a sad story. But Mr. Basilius Hage Geingbod is really saying No, some of these guys are not professionals and stuff like that. They're just in there for the money. But that's what's busy happening. For me, the other story that also caught my attention was the issue that happened in I think is Oshkoto region, the baby that fell in the Oshkundu bucket and stuff like that.
The baby that is 1 year old. I think it was around midnight that they realized that he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
The kids, I think it's 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And let's use the word allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, the kid was no longer or wasn't around, so now they started looking for him at this point, and unfortunately when they found him, he passed on, and he was found in this Oshkoto Park.
Oh, goodness. And you begin to find that that's not really the first incidences. You begin to read along, past years, you begin to find like this thing has been a reality whereby I don't know whether we have to say the parents are not a little bit being negligent, they are not paying attention to the kids. That's why our condolences to the family that have lost that. But on the other hand as well, for other parents, if you know you've got small kids, please do pay attention, to these kids because, I mean, at 1 year old, it's too young, too young for something like that to begin to happen. So, but it's a sad story. But that's what's busy happening, that kids rumor, or we find people that kids that fall into this, they have most this thing in the northern part. There are these things whereby they sort of like their wells where they go dig, where they get water and stuff. And sometimes you find like kids get to fall into the stuff and, and stuff like that. So it's a little bit tricky if parents are not really paying that attention for the well-being of the kids. And sometimes you can just imagine a small baby fighting for her life and stuff like that, and all of a sudden the person is dead.
The other news that kind of stood out for me was, I don't know, I don't want to say it like that, but Oshikoto has been bringing us some negligent, child abuse news. The Informante was also, reporting on a story of a little boy that it says, with the most recent incident involving a 66-year-old woman accused of abusing her 12-year-old grandson. It's again in line with the other story that we have seen of the 9-year-old that was also abused, by
a sad story,
by her grandparents, and these people happen to be legal guardians of these children. Often when the parent passes away, we are hoping that our kids are in good hands, but we have been seeing an increasing number of this. And then the other one also that stood out for me before we dive into this was, my goodness, it's crazy. Father rapes an impregnates daughter. A 44-year-old was arrested in the Juba region for raping his 13-year-old daughter. This thing has been happening since December 2020, but it has only been reported now. I think it got a little worse. As if the first time is not bad enough. But we've been seeing, especially in our country and in the northern parts of our region, in our country, we've seen that this increasing number of child abuse through sexual abuse. We've seen blatantly people beating these kids up and treating them in this inhumane and horrific way when we claim so much that kids are the future. And what is so sad about the whole thing is that these are kids that are your biological blood.
Yeah. Because to me sometimes I fail to understand in terms of what goes into your head as a parent, as a guardian. Just to be able to know that if I do this, if I take this decision and do this thing to this kid, whether it's whatever the abuse is, it's psychologically going to affect that kid. Raping a 13-year-old, she can't defend herself, she can't, and sometimes they have been intimidated with fear and stuff like that. If you go report, it's your own father, is going to be locked up, you're not going to have food at the house, all those type of stuff. And you realize that kids now have to, and the things that for me, a 13-year-old suffering, through those type of circumstances is way too bad. Sort of like, you can't really trust anybody nowadays.
Exactly.
Not even your own dad, your own mom, and stuff like that. Like last year, I think it was last year, this trainee doctor, I think it was Katutura or Central Hospital, that the story came out that he raped a patient at the hospital. and is a male, male guy that raped another male guy. When the guy woke up and they discovered, I think the court case, I think it might have appeared last month again, and the thing got postponed again. But it's all type of stuff. I mean, like even being in the hospital, a person is not safe, So it begins to become very, very, very bad. But that thing for the 9-year-old man, seeing the chains, it's like she's been treated like a prisoner. That's the worst thing about the whole thing, is that what harm can a 9-year-old bring, and what did she do to justify the chaining? That maybe she misbehaved or type of stuff. But now that tells that if they can do that to the child, then there's worse happening behind the scenes. Exactly. What I'm trying to say. So maybe they are stabbing the kid, and all type of stuff. But then now the worst part about the whole story is that the kid is an orphan. Both of the parents maybe might have passed, and that they're taking care of the kid. And now for me, man, the sad thing about it is that the guy, I think, is in the 90s and is dating 56 or something year old lady, and it's like nobody among them two has the senses to say you can't do this to an innocent child, and I feel sad for that child. I think maybe they need to take her to a psychology or something, man. So it's so that she can get counseling or just something, because it affects. But later on, we just started growing up with this rage and the anger and all type of stuff because of what has happened when we're 9. And I mean, even if the kid misbehaves or something, but to put chains around the kid is a high level of inhumane, so it's a very sad story.
I don't actually think there is anything that equates to you chaining somebody up, especially when, it's a kid, they are growing up, whatever they did should not be that bad that you chain a child up. And the other thing is, when you look at that picture, it's like, did she eat?
Yeah.
Do you give her water as a human being? And I think it's one of those things that makes us think of, like, you are literally giving this person over to your biological family or whatsoever, but it's seeing this boy child. Oh, I cried when I saw that headline. I was like, this is not okay.
Very, very bad. Because now you begin to think like, if that is the reality, think about the trauma and the fear that is instilled within that child, to get to, because I think it might not. I don't just think the guy just woke up overnight and said, "Okay, we're gonna put chains." Maybe it started with, him yelling at the child, beating at the child, doing all that stuff. Then now to the extent of saying, "Okay, the best way we can have control over the situation, let's just put chains." And I was seeing how this guy was busy, like cutting the chains off and stuff like that. And you can tell, man, it's a very innocent child. That even if you have tightened her with ropes, she could have still be vulnerable. Now you are going to the extent of the chain. So it's a very sad story. So okay, for me the other one that also stood out for me was the guy that used to be the former MD for Nedbank, that applied for a job at Namco. Oh man. So people are getting paid, yo.
A lot of money.
So I was saying, man, the guy was, I think maybe his term finished at Nedbank, then he applied for this job, and I used to think in my small mind that with the whole, once you apply, there's already a scale there, and there's no longer negotiation about salary and benefits and stuff like that. But this guy got appointed because he went a couple of days to work. Then they were still in negotiation with the price and stuff like that. Then they offered him 230, 1,000, so it's a lot of money. It's like how do you give that whole bunch of money just to one person? Just one guy is getting 230. And the guy said, "Hell no, I'm not gonna accept a job that is giving me 230 because when I was an MD at Nedbank, they were paying me 350 Namibian dollars. It's like, I think that's like a quarter of a million or something. It's like, it's a lot of money, man. And it's like, these people have been in negotiations and stuff like that. And it feels like maybe Namco doesn't want to push it up to, because I think maybe the guy's expectation was, at least maybe close to a 300 or above a 300, then he's able to accept the job and begin start working and stuff. But because they couldn't come into terms of the agreement, the guy just dropped the job and said, I do not want. It's like,
but in reality, look at the thing. It's like I am making $350,000 per month.
yeah,
I'm not taking the 230.
like it's too low. What's the difference?
How you go down?
30, 70, it's like 120 difference. The guy said, it's just too much.
As much as I'd be happy with $8,000 right now, but if I was earning $350,000, I'm out, guys. So,
It's like, man, people are getting paid, man. You think like, and sometimes that's just the salary, and on top of that, there are benefits and allowance and all type of stuff. That guy can literally hit to 500, 700,000 a month. You know, I was hearing Esau busy testifying during his bail application. The guy is saying, no, where we really make the money is with the traveling allowance. The guy said he had a budget of, the guy had a budget of 1.2 million. I said, how do you, the guy exhausts that, then Marines begin to pay for the other extra beside that, which was very astounding for me, that a person can be at a place whereby they will just be pushing, to travel just because they want traveling allowance. You begin to realize that these homies are getting a lot of money.
I've seen with politicians when the thing of the budgeting. I think it's budgeting or something.
Yeah.
But when you look at and I think it's true that he's saying that the S&D is actually more than the money that they get paid. Because the incentives is like, let's say for example, I have a friend in the US, and particularly I'm going to the US. I would rather go stay in my friend's house. And all of that money is literally just coming back to me. I think one of the things that I'm in agreement with this guy is that I just came from a place where I was getting a lot more. Also, I might have bills that I was
accumulated.
It's like, I am worth 350,000 and I have accumulated this trouble for myself. I'm not settling for 2 things.
Yeah, I'm trying to say. So it's just so. But for me, man, what's mind-boggling is that we're living in a country of 2.8 million people. Then you find like some people are getting 350 per month. You begin to realize that there's money in the country, and people are getting a lot of money. That's why I saw one time in Windhoek, somebody was busy advertising a house. I think it was 3-4 bedroom house with 2 garages and all type of stuff, like for 20,000.
Yes.
I mean, 20,000. If somebody that's buying a house through the bank, maybe their monthly installment is like maybe 10,000, 50,000. And here is a person paying not for a house they are busy buying, but we are just renting. It's like 20,000. I mean, you have done so much with that money. But you begin to find like people got cash. I mean, for 350, like 20,000 is like 2,000 for it. I mean, it's not really much, much money and stuff like that. But I think is there any other story within the general news that we want to take on?
Yeah, the story of the Arandis.
The 1.1.
The 1.1. What the headline was quite interesting for me. We have mercy, we're merciful, which we do, but Strauss is the former bank manager of the Arandis branch.
Yeah,
she started bank. She's also Arandis resident.
Yeah.
This woman has been in some sort of dealing with a witch doctor that ended up with her taking 800,000 Namibian dollars out of a vault, and taking it outside of the bank just to go drop it off under a bridge for somebody she has never seen in her whole entire existence.
And I think the witch goes by the name of Mama Lala. Like it's so amazing how a person, a whole academic, a whole bank manager, a whole elderly person that works with money. It could be another thing if the money was hers. But the money that belongs to the bank, you take it, drive. Maybe they were like in a phone conversation the whole time. Okay,
Yeah.
I passed through this stop, I passed through the other stop, I'm in the place now. And that guy is maybe just watching from an anonymous place and say, okay, just drop the money, don't look back, drive in the car, and somebody's gonna come get that money and do something. But 800,000 is a lot of money.
800,000 is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Which is crazy to me is that she stole this money so this witch doctor would help her get out of her financial problems. And it's like, what? The other thing is also, you have never seen.
But now,
this
for me, the
person.
thing is that in what debts is she that is over 800,000? What type of debt is that? Maybe her debt is maybe like 10 million or 30 million, because that's the only time that you begin to realize that you are in a debt that you won't be able to pay or something.
Yeah.
But over 800,000, I wonder what type of financial crisis was she?
Yeah.
It's just too crazy. But people are able to do desperate stuff when they are desperately looking for money and solution and stuff like that. But what's the other part that is interesting about that case? It is her colleague that has also been linked to the case that is in on Dangwa, I think, and simultaneously she's also from Standard Bank, just in the northern part of the country. She also meets Mama Lala, and she also does the same thing. And now their cases were conjoined, but this one is simply saying, no, I'm not responsible for the 800,000. You know, I'm only responsible for the 300. She also took 300 and something from the bank, paid it to this lady, and the prosecutor is saying, you know, he is assuming, or the evidence is leading, or what is there, but there's still no proof. But they're saying that she is the witch doctor by the name of Mama Lala.
We don't know what Mama Lala is. We don't know if it's a guy, if it's a girl. We don't know if it's an elderly person or a child, even at this point. But what we know is this person literally got 1.1 billion. Did I say it correctly?
Yeah,
1.1 billion Namibian dollars outside of just one bank, Standard Bank.
So they got depleted, eh? And so within her plea, she was asking for forgiveness, and she, admitted the crime that she has committed, and stuff like that. So, and the bank said, so the judge said no. So they acknowledge her remorse, they acknowledge her guilt. But the thing is that they're saying banks are busy losing out because of this type of acts. Then I think she got sentenced to
10 years and 2
suspended.
Yeah, 2 were suspended, so 8 years in prison. And the other thing is, I do sympathize with her.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like you were saying, when you're in a desperate situation, you desperate means there's nothing else you can do about it. But it's also, come on, man.
It's common sense.
If you haven't seen an individual in real life, that is a lot of money to go to jail. It's not only just the going to jail thing, it's losing the job. And the other thing is also, like I was saying, Namibia has been going through, I don't know if you guys have been following the banks that have been, like money has been stolen a lot and all these things. So it also kind of puts the banks in that kind of a situation where you don't know who to trust. So one of the things the judge also said is, as much as we have mercy for you in your situation, the fact remains the bank will never get that money back.
But you know what I'm being suspecting? It could be that the pension, it's
gone.
Yeah, so they'll be able to take the whole pension, and maybe depending on how many years she was working and stuff like that. So now not only have you lost the job, you are losing your pension. Now you are in prison. Who takes care of your family and all that other stuff? So guys, so before thinking of doing something like that, and the thing is that for me is that he's a home bank manager. The banks have been run by the principle of security. That you need to verify, and make sure that all the securities are in place before making a transaction when you're dealing with a client and all that of stuff. But it's like for her, all of those things that were like normal to her, she ignored all of those realities and just went ahead and did what she did. But desperation, man, is a crazy thing. It's like the incident that happened in Windhoek, I think maybe 4 or 5 years back, of this nurse. I think she was working either at Central or Katutura. She was attending this prophetic church. The guy is from Congo or something. So this guy told the lady, no, your house is full of demons, and you need to you need to sell the house and get rid of the house and stuff like that. I also know gonna be rest. So I think what happened was the lady gave the responsibility of selling the house to the pastor, and I think the pastor just gave her like 10 or 20 grand, and I think she's like four or five kids.
My goodness.
All of a sudden she's on the street, and when the reality is you are on the street, the house is sold, there's nothing that else you can do. I think that guy got caught or arrested or something, I don't know, but sort of like you think like the older a person is or gets, the more educated they are, the better they're in a position to reason much more better and stuff like that. But you begin to realize that desperate moments are not only for people without money and good position, but it's for everybody. It's like the story of Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipa.
It's crazy.
So I'm busy following that story. It's getting real crazy. There was this lady there. She's a vlogger, and she's influencer, does marketing on top of stuff. This lady literally was with Thabo Bester for the space of 4 hours. So what Thabo did was contacted this lady. I think it was last year, like around about September, August, somewhere. They interested to go into the space where she's busy advertising her properties and stuff like that. So the person that was running like the properties in Cape Town and in Joburg, so under the company of Arum, what's the company's name, property and stuff like that. So the person that contacted the lady was a white person. So then she thought the owner of the companies, who was the CEO, who's TK, under the is Thabo Bester under the suspicion name of TK. Yeah. She was thought maybe, okay, since this person is white, then the original owner of the company is also going to be white, because in that suburb where they had properties, like you really need to be very wealthy to own property. So they arranged a meeting. The lady went, met Thabo at this restaurant and stuff like that around 6 o'clock or so in the afternoon. And then the guy was a real chilled guy. They went to this specific restaurant. When the guy pulled up, everybody was like running to the guy, speaking to the guy and stuff like that. The guy doesn't have any mask, doesn't have any cap. The guy was just okay, And they were in the car, busy talking and stuff like that. So they went. Thabo showed her a couple of houses. Then they went back to see other houses. Mm-hmm. Then they went out for dinner. Now, as they were there, at the place that they went, this lady's former boss also owns that hotel. Mm-hmm. But she didn't work in the specific one. So on the night they came, the previous boss was there. So now the guy was like staring at their table, coming, greeting people in the surrounding, because I think she was trying to get the lady's attention. Mm-hmm. And Thabo felt very much uncomfortable. The food didn't yet come. Thabo decided to leave. And but what she's saying is that Thabo wasn't hiding. It wasn't like, okay, let me put out a hoodie or something like that. The guy was just well chilled. Promised the girl a lot of money, from 60 to 100,000. That they are going to. She's going to be advertising these houses, luxury homes and stuff like that. They want to do a Netflix stuff of the thing and stuff. And the guy was very good. But now the thing is that she's saying she feels like she was very fortunate that day, because she could have been one of the suspects that was either raped or killed by this guy, And Thabo left, and from there they lost contact. And when the story broke out from the news, she realized the guy that I was with is actually Thabo Bester. But it's amazing. I think they're appearing now on the third, either the 3rd or the 4th of May. So the court case is still gonna be proceeding. Okay, so for commercial break, we this whole podcast is brought up by Diego's and DSTV Place, right in town in Ketmans. So if you want anything regarding DSTV, you want to buy a decoder, anything like this, you can visit them. If you want stuff like of equipment, stationaries and other stuff, so they sell a whole bunch of stuff. So he sell fish and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that have been sold in that shop. So you want to make a 10 out to Diego's, right in town next to F&B. we'll provide their contact details in case if you want to call. So anything that you can think about, from stuff on the phone, cars, whatever, they have a bunch of stuff within their shop.
They got it. The other one is Fandimoy. Guys, it's getting cold and it's a little bit cold outside. Fandimoy is a local brand that is from Kidmans, but he also can be contacted and you can, I think, the courier as well, as I was reading. Fandimoy has sweatpants, sweatshirts, he has t-shirts, hoodies, all sorts of things you can think about. So we are here to support local businesses. You will see a couple of his things that he's selling.
Yes.
Like I said, it's a clothing brand out of Kidman Soap. It's called Fandimoy. The guy's name is Sean. It's quality, 100% cotton.
Very good person. The guy is a very cool guy, very honest guy. So you can make sure that you can contact him and buy some Fandimoy clothes. That's gonna be very awesome. So maybe the other one before we move to sports. It is Felicity Studio that is based in Karlsberg. So this lady is in the photography space, so she does all type of stuff, but she's very much, she has special now for Mother's Day and other stuff. So if you want to do printings of t-shirts and caps and all type of stuff, pull up banners, so she's the right person. So she's also able to courier across the nation. So you contact her. So whether you are in the north, you're in the central coast, wherever you might be finding yourself, so please, so do contact her if you want to. So her job is also 100%.
100%.
So she's very good. Okay, so let's go to the sports.
We're going straight to sports. Guys, our very own Peter
Shalulile
has scored his 100th goal, which makes him the only, I think he's the seventh person in the Premier League that has actually did that. In sports, it's called, I've only learned this.
Yeah.
It's called a century goal. This guy has, throughout his life, scored 100 goals, which makes him a century goal holder. I'm giving him that new name, century goal. Shalulile plays for the Sundowns in SA, but he's an Namibian. So we are very proud of him. We are super ecstatic and we are excited, it shows you that no matter where you are from, even if your country is just 2.8 people, you put your dreams to your mind and you work hard for them, you can achieve it. And imagine you are the only, there's only seven, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you that have done that. So big congratulations to him as well.
Very good, man. So I think Namibia was only that good in box and stuff like that. They took us put us on the map, global map, and but now I think Shalulile is the main guy.
What is the other guy who got also? I think it's Dion Hoto as well. At some point he was, I'm not saying at some point he is one of the best we had out of Namibia. Virtual freeze was pretty awesome as well. We are only good when it comes to Paralympics, and these days the bomber and the other girl. But I don't watch sports very often.
But I think Namibia got very good talent. You just need to be people just need to invest money into sports, okay? Because even now there's a sad story that has just emanated. I saw this MP for ERPM. She's tackling the Minister of Sport, and saying that because they went into a deal with Botswana in I think last year, somewhere there in June. They went into a deal whereby they need to they need to host the African Cup of Nations together. Then they need to they need to split up the whole stuff. They were supposed to say, okay, I think the opening was supposed to be in Botswana. Then the quarterfinals going to be played here. Then some of the participants within the competition, the other countries, will be staying in Namibia and in Botswana and stuff. So it was a very lucrative initiative that they came up, and just to hear that the whole thing is cancelled.
Guys, come on!
It's like I've never seen money in my whole life maybe this could have been the
Even
opportunity
me.
to say, you say, man, let me go see it now, you know? Or Hakimi. Hakimi is one of the guys. The guy is also a great thing to say, Hakimi, man, what just made you think like that? and put your whole mother as the whole custodian for the whole money. It's like, we're going to see the guy in the day.
All of my is just...
What I'm trying to say is like, man, and now a lot of people, they're disappointed because I think we have benefited because these people, when they come, is the booking of the hotels, is the eating, they're traveling around, they're buying from the shops, buying from the malls, and all that type of stuff. So we have made good look at the money, but also as an inspiration to the youngsters that are busy playing soccer and stuff to say, man, we can become like that and all that type of stuff. But then now the whole deal has been turned down. Now the LPM MP is looking for the answers to say, what made you turn down the deal? You guys traveled so far, you spent, pensioners' money and all that type of stuff, so taxpayers' money and all that type of stuff. So now why are you pulling out the deal that was so promising and stuff like that? She's trying to table the whole thing of how it transpired and stuff like that. But it's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad because I think not only just the young people, even for elderly people too, who are sports fans in America, who have... Because it's not only an expectation, but we want to see these things. It could have been amazing because now one of the only things that actually supports our economy, which is tourism, I bet you a lot of people will have come to Etosha Park.
That's the thing, man.
And the Pink Lake and all these things we have.
They went there. And for me is that, like, I wish if it went through, then we will have like a lot of stadiums in various places and stuff like that. Well. Yeah, very nice, So, but now, Sam Newman Stadium the other year was like, when I saw that thing there, I was laughing. But it's like it's grass everywhere. The thing is not being used. I think they cancel it from the road that they shouldn't even be playing sport on that field because it's not just in a conducive state. They were not paying for that big screen thing that I don't know where they got it from, but they were paying. I think they're paying a lot of money, man, on a monthly basis for something that they haven't used it for, and you begin to realize what is wrong with our sports in Namibia.
What is even crazy is that I don't think, if I might be wrong, I stand corrected in this. It's the Premier League. Yeah. They didn't play last year and this year. I don't think so.
I think that for this year's, I think they might have played, but there was a year whereby they were struggling to kick off because there were no sponsors. And the guy that has been milked is MTC for this whole time. Whole time. It's like every time MTC. I mean, we got a lot of bigger companies like Namib Breweries, we get like Namib Mills, we Nam Milk, all these other companies, man.
Pastor Poland, I think.
Yeah, so they could
have done this.
Invest some money, and you find like not everybody is good in academics. Not everybody is a schooling person and type of stuff. So at least those that can't make their way into the educational sector to be educated and stuff like that, they can find their way into sports. Imagine Lionel Messi is the wealthiest, maybe one, not the world, but one of the best players in the planet, and the guy pay a hell of a lot of money, on a weekly or monthly basis, and it's just coming out of sports. I wonder what Peter Sharole's pay is in Sundowns.
I think he's the only Namibian player that has gotten.
I think that's maybe.
I might be wrong.
Yeah, that's far. I think the other impressive figure as well. It is what is the Coleman girl's name?
Oh, Sonata.
Yeah, I think for her, she's also been a very impressive figure in all of the sports and stuff like that.
And she's from Ketman, so it's okay.
Oh,
she's from home. Oh, we are excited
so we have produced very good products with people out of Ketman.
One of the things, because of the lack of attention to sports is that even though these people go out and they win medals for us and then they come back, we have nothing to do. We don't do anything for them. We're like, this person, Ruben is a gold medalist. He was in LA as well in the United States, and he also went to Abu Dhabi in the UAE. And this guy has gotten, for the Olympics actually, he has gotten medals for it, but now, what the interesting thing is that he's working for $400 per month as a cleaner, as a janitor.
I saw the other guy, so before I saw the other guy, this Andrew Tate guy, was saying if he had to go in a boxing match ring now, it's not just gonna be for small money, it's gonna be like for 200 million.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not just gonna fight anybody, I'm gonna fight anybody, that I have a beer with. So that I can win. And I'm gonna say 200 million. Then you think like how much were these guys getting, in sports? Because I think sports is very much lucrative because now you have various type of competitions and various type of countries that are busy competing and a lot of sponsors and stuff like that. Then to be able to follow from there to a $400, I think she's working on the Ministry of Sports or something where he's getting paid $400.
And the interesting thing he said was that it's better than doing nothing, which I feel like I think it was a track runner. So what he can do is maybe go to schools, be useful, and we are not entirely blaming, Namibia for it, but there are things that we can do to support as the government. We do not have a lot of businesses outside of whatever, but we do have a government that only caters to 2.8 million people, I think, and I know we do have money to build these people up. One of the things that I'm wondering right now, because of the bomber and
I think, what is the name? Masilingi.
These two, out of like, for a lot of us, out of nowhere, they just got out and, all of these deals and things are coming to them. And now what the world is doing is like, these girls have a lot of testosterone, which is like, it's not like they're taking it. It's not an artificial thing that they are putting into their body. But now there was this complaint of it. The same thing that happened with Castamania in SA is what is happening too. So I'm hoping although they are still in the part of it, that these people are saving money.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you do not know when the sports thing is gonna die. As we are seeing our country, we cannot even support you to that degree where we are like, these are our people, we will stand for them.
And I'm seeing Christine, she's getting a lot of money. I saw even recently, she's the do I say ambassador or something? But she's busy advertising for Marathon Sugar or something.
She's not the one that is on it. I think your first one might have been Frank.
I went in thinking, what is the thing's name? In Agra, and they have this and then he said, please man, can somebody take me a picture with Christine Boma? And the whole thing is like, wait. And you wonder with those deals, maybe she's getting a lot of money. Because all you need is just a picture of yourself and that's it. And even people that will buy maybe a different brand because her face is there. Now sort of like it tastes much more, it's a different sweeter and all that because Christine is on the whole thing. But it's crazy. That's where we are. So but 400, I think man, some people need to do something for the guy, raise up money or something. Or I saw what is the guy? Frankie Frederick, I think it's 2 years or 3 years back, the guy he got some position there under Ministry of Youth and stuff like that. So they can do something like that as well for the guy. Okay, so for the crime out of Kietmans, unpack it for us, Aisha.
Straight out of Kietmans. I do not go very often in the streets. But when the streets talking about Hosh.
That's the only.
I laugh now, but it's a serious issue that we are struggling with, especially in the Karas region. I think it has been going major. There is a gang that goes by the name Hosh. And this gang is made up of children. I'm going to use the word children because these are kids. And these kids, 12 of them, were locked up. By now they're actually out. 12 of them were locked up because these kids were taking things from, like they were robbing elderly people. They were literally just terrorizing the whole of Kietmanzone. So, it's quite fascinating to me that the unemployment rate actually does equate to this as well. It's like the higher the unemployment rate, the higher the crime rate. So again, we are not blaming the government, but often
I saw Hage today. I don't know if you saw that thing, man. When he's pleading on the business sector, to create jobs.
Yeah, I saw. And one of the fascinating things for me is that our government only realizes how bad the unemployment rate is. When we were talking about 40% of Namibia's youth is unemployed, people did not see it as a big deal because it's just 40%. But when you look at this 40% of the youth that is actually unemployment that we are accounting for are people that have degrees, that have certificates. These people actually, more of them are studying than.
I think it was in 2015. I went to Binduk. I went to Hi-Fi Corporation. So I went to go buy something there. And no, I bought something, then I wanted a refund, then I wanted to buy something else. Then I'm sitting in the supervisor's office. The supervisor's office, I'm sitting there. A guy pops out there with a CV, hands it down to things, looking for a job. The guy leaves, said, no, if there's anything that's going to pop up, I'm going to call you. She takes out the whole CV and check. The guy, I think, has a qualification in accounting or something like that. Then she makes the exclamation and say, why does a whole qualified person looking for a job, at a shop? Then you begin to realize and that was like 2015, Think about now. I saw there was a time whereby these graduates were busy walking around the streets as a way of protesting and stuff like with their gowns and stuff like that, looking for jobs. But it's the same government now that is busy pleading on the business fraternity guys to create jobs. And the guy was saying, the government is not God,
He was being arrogant about it. Now the thing is turning around. And I also think it's one of those things that they do. It's this campaigning strategy where they feel like, okay, if we help young people right now and we say things that they want to hear. But it's like we are kind of beyond that now. It's starting to affect not only us but our families and communities way more than it should.
It's way too bad. For me, the only thing is that 2.8 million, there's a lot of land, a lot of mineral resources and all type of stuff. Nobody that maybe are actually supposed to be struggling, if people had brains and just invest and do all type of stuff. But that's where we are. But sad story for this guy, man. $400, every month. And by the way, the guy stays with his mom.
Yeah.
It's a problem, So
I think he's in his 40s.
And now sometimes when you not to say, but if I for some people will say, man, it's just better I would have been doing something else or something like that. So now it's like you feel like you're stuck. But I think those things also they go hand in hand with remorse and guilt and all type of stuff. You feel like you're blaming yourself, like we're making better choices, better decisions and stuff like that. Okay, so I think the last section is for the crime. The other one that emanated is the shooting of the 5 robbers. But that story there is flip-flopping. And I'm seeing now there are demands whereby people are saying, let them prove why they shot these people, why they killed them, and all that stuff.
What is fascinating is now the story is telling around to the police.
Yeah.
It's like the bullies would just kill people for no reason.
Sort of like just kill them for no reason. And the Okahandja residents, some of them were saying, like the sound they heard of the shooting was like AK-47. Like it was a constant shooting and all type of stuff. But the whole story apparently goes, these guys they wanted to rob a gambling house in Windhoek. And the police were following them from Windhoek until nearby Okahandja, and the guys started shooting the police first. Then the police retaliated and killed the guys, and one person escaped. But people are like sort of like, I saw some clips on Facebook where people they are busy protesting and saying why they killed the guys and all that stuff. But they are within the whole thing. I think there was one guy that I think whether he came from Angola or he had cases in Angola and stuff like that. And he also got killed in the whole thing. But they are demanding a release, a report from the police and stuff. And it's like it's long coming and stuff like that. But police brutality has also been one of the things.
It has been major.
Yeah, so whereby people are accusing that these guys, especially the paraparas.
This might be the special force field. Sorry, English. Has been, but you know what? I don't want to say these words, but it's the truth. They have been known to be quite violent.
Yeah.
They're very forceful.
Yeah.
you go out and you see these things and you're like, you could have just asked the guy.
Yeah.
But now you beat the person up and then you ask them, what are you doing here? I'm like, ask before you beat what happened to that thing.
It's a problem.
And we've also seen, it's not a lot of cases, but we have seen most of the cases that have to do with police brutality, that the police actually, we do nothing, the government does nothing to the police. It's just we keep on blaming the other people on the other side. We're also not saying that the police are always wrong, but we're also not saying they're always right. There are certain instances where the police actually do go to the extremes.
So it's a problem. Okay, so before we move on to our last news, that is the African news. So a quick commercial break. So as we are busy advertising for different companies and SMEs and businesses. So the other one that is a very promising entrepreneur is the man by the name of Rian. He's busy running a funeral parlor here in the, I nearly said Karas, but I realized that it was not going to come out the way that it's supposed to. The Karas region, this guy's running a funeral parlor, so he first ran it under Youth Pride, so now I think it's Serenity or something like that. So, but their services also top notch. So if you, are in need of funeral services, this is gonna be one of the best, and on top of that, he's a young person, he has created a number of jobs and stuff like that. So you wanna contact him, the number is gonna be up on the screen. You can, I think they have a Facebook page, your Facebook account on Facebook, and check out their stuff and see how far they are busy progressing.
All of the links that for these people, their Facebook accounts and all these things will be in the description box. The other entrepreneur that we are going to advertise for today is Emma. She's all the way out of Kielmansdorp, but currently resides in Swakopmund. Emma makes t-shirts. It's Jesus Man.
Yeah.
Das lekker barriere. Und das lekker Jesus.
Yeah.
The t-shirts come in every color that you want. Different sizes, different colors, and it is lekker barriere. So our contact details will be in the description box as well, and then you might just contact her.
The good thing about this platform is that when I do advertising as well, for other people to be able to see, but it's for black businesses to support other black businesses, or Namibian business support Namibian business. So that's that stuff. So if you need a t-shirt or you need those services and stuff like that, you want to do that. So it's going to be very much ideal for you to do that. Okay, the last news, it is coming out of South Africa, the issue of the ICC. They are on the head and the neck of Putin. So they want the guy to be arrested. I literally saw the guy. What is the guy's name, man? I think it's a premier for what is the thing? Is it premier? What's those names, man? In SA, but it's a province there. I think this guy is a DA premier or a DA. Yeah. So the guy is saying if Putin happened to land in their province, he's personally gonna arrest him. There are some people they have a lot of courage.
South Africans have a lot of courage.
Yeah. The guy is saying, and Malema responded and said, if that guy is going to arrest Putin, he's going to meet his maker. He's going to meet his maker. Julius is saying, Russia has been there for us, during our struggle and fighting for independence. They gave us the guns, they supported us. Now why don't we want to support them? Because the whole issue is that this ICC consists of various type of countries, but what is disturbing is that most of the superpowers like USA are not part of that. Now Malema is saying, they killed, Obama killed Gaddafi, that stuff. When is the guy gonna be arrested and so forth and so on?
There's so many things that other people did.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, but now why only Putin has to account and all that stuff? So the ICC have put in a warrant of arrest. So now the guy's gonna be coming for the BRICS summit. I think China, Brazil, these other countries, South Africa is going to be hosting it. So now Putin is also expected to come. But now for me, the funny part is that they know where Putin stays.
Already?
Yeah, why do they go to Russia and all that stuff? Why do you want that? Oh, go arrest the guy at the airport.
They just want trouble.
Yeah, now they are trying to throw the whole thing on SA and get themselves in trouble with Putin and stuff like that. And it's just so crazy, man, how this events. But then now the whole big question is, because Putin still did not confirm whether or not it's coming and stuff like that.
I also do not think he will come.
Yeah.
If he comes, he's
But I mean,
seriously not scared of anybody.
Yeah. So then the ANC wants to pull out the government from them being signatories, from the ICC and stuff like that. So then they made that announcement. The SG made that announcement. The president made that announcement in 2 different places. And later on in the course of the day, they're saying, no, it's just misinformation, all type of stuff. We're not going to pull it out and all type of stuff. So it's a little bit crazy, but that is what is busy happening. And we have come to the end of our news. So I want to encourage everybody, so please do subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. I want to encourage you to do that. So this podcast was made possible by Diego's. So it's a company, a business that has been run right in Ketmans and all type of stuff that is there. So I want to make sure that you get there. We'll check them out if you're in Ketmans and so forth and so on. So we're gonna be back again next week. So if you are busy watching, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can be updated once we upload future videos. But as for now, we are out.